Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to this video. All right, so if you guys have issues with idling issues, like if you're idling and then it just slowly dies out on you, that you guys have weird misfires that could be caused by what we're talking about. What we're talking about is the throttle body, and this throttle body and the throttle position sensor, or I believe it's essentially one unit. So if you guys don't know what it is, it actually is it has blades that open up a certain amount when you press the accelerator to open up the amount of air that goes into the engine. Now over time the blades themselves do get dirty, and not just the blades but the surrounding area of the blades do get dirty, and they get filled with soot, they get filled with whatever it is, oil. Sometimes it gets a film of dirt around that area. Not just dirt, but it gets dirty around that area, whatever the components is, during the combustion cycle, during the intake air flowing through there. Over time it builds up, and it builds up enough that you will have issues with how your engine operates, and even with acceleration, issues with power, even issues with shifting. A lot of people sometimes have issues with the shifting, and they think it's mostly the transmission that's the problem, but a lot of times it's not just the transmission that's the issue. A lot of times it's actually the throttle body. So you would have to, when you guys are looking at this, you guys would have to definitely not leave out the throttle body and the throttle position sensor. If you guys have any of these issues, if you guys have a malfunctioning throttle body, throttle position sensor, it could cause a code to pop up. Those codes might not be related to the throttle position sensor itself. It could be related to other components of the vehicle that measures the data with the air coming from the outside, from the intake to the throttle position sensor. Now, there is a chance also that throttle position sensor can malfunction. It used to be on older vehicles. It's manually controlled. So if you actually just press on the accelerator, there is a string and a lever that opens it up. These newer vehicles, when I say newer vehicles, I mean like relatively newer vehicles, probably like not from the 80s, not from the 90s, probably like 2000s and up, where throttle position sensors became electronically controlled. Your accelerator pedal has no connection to it except from being connected to your computer, and then the computer connects to the throttle body and throttle position sensor. There is a chance that there could be issues with it electronically. It could break down, and you might have issues with matching up how far the accelerator pedal is when you depress it versus how far it is. So a lot of things dealing with this. Now I gotta tell you guys, all right, for the most part, changing out the throttle body and the throttle position sensor, for the most part, they're not difficult. They're not hard to get to. This is what you're looking at right now is a 2014 Volkswagen Jetta. This vehicle, as you guys can see, has the throttle body right there. A lot of times they're not very difficult to get to. So if you guys are able to you guys should be looking to clean up the throttle body if you guys have any kind of issues, like over 120, over 140,000 miles. Yes, over 120, over 140,000 miles, they do get dirty. It might not be something that's wrong with the throttle body itself. It could be just dirt keeping air from going inside. Normally it's open just a little bit when you turn your vehicle on, just idle. If there's enough dirt there, it'll keep air from passing through it, so that there's no air going to the engine, and it'll die out. It'll cause misfires. It'll cause a lot of issues, and you might get a lot of different codes on your dash, particularly the check engine light with a whole bunch of different codes. And you might think that it's these other components of the vehicle, but you definitely want to rule out the throttle position sensor. Now on this vehicle, normally, as you guys can see on this vehicle, there's one plug going to there, and normally there's 4 bolts connecting to there, and that's pretty much the setup on most vehicles as far as the throttle position sensor is concerned. You have a bunch of vacuum tubes, even coolant going through there. Don't ask me why there's coolant going through there, but there's coolant going in through there. For them, a lot of these throttle bodies have these tubes for that. You might need to remove those tubes. You might not need to if it comes off after the bolts are taken off easily. You might be able to just clean up without having to take any of that stuff off. And you probably, in cases like if you have any issues, you might just want to just clean it up instead of replacing it. Some throttle bodies these days are expensive. They weren't, you know, on it kind of depends on which vehicle you have. All right, if you guys have a throttle body that's if you guys can get like a throttle body that's $100, you guys can pop it in. As far as OEM original and non-OEM throttle bodies are concerned, I'm pretty sure OEM throttle bodies, they're running from like $400, $500, $600, $700 these days. You know, depending on which car you have. I don't know about this particular vehicle, but if you guys have if you guys had the choice of the original or a original or non-OEM, non-original, it's off-brand, I think you guys should actually just stick to the original if you guys are replacing it. A lot of these throttle position sensors actually are very sensitive to where the lever is, as far as balancing between your foot on the pedal and where the lever goes, as far as how far it opens up, and everything is just calibrated calibrated electronically, that you would just really want it to be the original throttle body. You know, so, but if you can't, probably better to get a used one. Your last resort, you know, this is in particular if you have a vehicle that's more built. Some vehicles are more sensitive to original parts versus non-original parts, and I've been noticing that some vehicles lately, newer vehicles, they build them to the point where the specifications of certain data ranges are very specific, that these non-OEM parts are not able to be calibrated to that point. And if you put in an OEM part, you might just get issues. That's not always the case. But if you had a choice between the original and a non-OEM, probably the original is better, and a used part is better than a non-OEM part. Not always the case. You make your decision, because these are pretty expensive. I can understand if you guys don't want to get a $600 throttle body versus one that you guys can get on eBay for like 60 bucks or something like that. In any case, if you guys have any questions on this, leave a question in the comment section. Please subscribe, please give me a thumbs up, and yeah guys, take care.